Goliath trusted his sword. He said, if you come at me, I will cut you up. Saul trusted his sword. He told David, he said, if you're going to go and fight him, at least take my sword and take my armor. David puts his armor on. He can't even move. The sword just feels clunky. And he says, King, I can't go into battle with these things. I haven't tested them yet. In other words, what? I don't trust anything that your man is trying to give me to tell me this is what I need. I trust that he gave me everything that I need through what I went through, and that's what I'm taking into the next battle. I don't need your sword. I don't need your armor. If I needed it, I would have got it in one of the trials I went through before, and I'd already have it. I'm convinced that I have everything I need for this battle because he led me to it, and he knows what I have. Amen. What did he need? He needed this right here. Surely he will deliver the head of that uncircumcised Philistine into my hands. Coincidentally, for 3 days, David dragged the head of Goliath around with his hands. The Bible's not boring. You are. Come on, read it. And don't just let it be a Bible story that you filled out where there's a Philistine laying with a neat little cut on his head and the guy on the ground looks, No, he was a barbarian. And David went over and took the very sword he trusted in and he cut his head off and he held it up to embolden the armies of Israel. What happened? When they saw that David overcame the Philistine by the one that he put his trust in, they put their trust in that and they overtook and did what they couldn't do before one person said, I can. It says they came out of the caves, they came out of hiding, they came out of fear. Why? Because one person refused to cower because he knew if God brought me here, I promise you it's going to be a bad day for one of us and it is not me. And if you choose and are foolish enough to take on and defy, not me. See, we don't take it personally. Why? Because I don't trust in me. He didn't say, who is this Philistine that dares to defy the shepherd of the son of Jesse? Doesn't he know what I did? Has he not heard about the lion? Has he not heard about the bear? See, we take it personally, then we make our trust in us personally, and now we're fighting personally. He doesn't do that. He says, who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he would dare to defy the army of the living God? God has delivered me from the hand of the lion and the hand of the bear. He says this. He says, when the lion and the bear came and took a lamb, I went after them and pursued them and killed them and got it back. You realize David didn't fight off a lion or a bear. It says a lion or a bear came and took a lamb. And he wasn't okay with them taking something that belonged to his father. Something that he'd been entrusted to watch over. He could have just sat back and been like, well, we still have a bunch of sheep. Come on, don't sit back and let the enemy come and steal things that have been trusted to you by your father and say, well, at least I've still got this. David was like, no, this is an injustice. And this is not okay. And if the enemy came and took that and I've been entrusted to keep that, I'm not okay sitting back and counting what I have left. I'm going after it and I'm not stopping until I get that back. He said, I pursued him, killed him, and took the lamb back. What does that mean? It means the things the enemy stole aren't dead yet. Don't give up on them. Don't just let him take them. Go after them. We get an attack and all of a sudden we shrink back and we think, well, that's dead. How do you know? Well, I mean, obviously, logic would tell you that if a lion came and stole a lamb, that it's probably hungry, so I'm sure it took it to eat it. How do you know? Why don't you go chase that lion down? Trusting in the Lord. Why don't you slay it and take back what was given to you and entrusted to you to watch over by your Father?